So this is a video that just outlines some of the frustrations you might have when it comes to owning a drone. I own the DJI series. I own a Phantom 3 Standard and also a Mavic Pro. And don't get me wrong, I absolutely love flying them and capturing aerial photography and getting some awesome video shots, whether it's family or historical or landscape. The possibilities are endless. It's a real fun hobby to get into, especially if you're a bit of a video geek. But don't get me wrong, there are some frustrations that come with owning these technologies. And I'm just going to go through some of these things that I find frustrating about being a drone enthusiast. This is for, recreational hobbyist usage. I'm not going to be talking about commercial professional usage. The first thing you'll probably notice when you own a drone is how little sometimes you will be flying it. These are some of the reasons that go with the frustrations. Sometimes it'll be a nice weekend. I'll look forward to charging up the batteries and going out to fly, only to realize that the weather outside is not going to comply with what I want to do outside. So one of those facets is to do with wind. Generally I don't want to take my drone out above 20 miles an hour. Um, I'm trying to get some nice clean shots. If a gust of wind comes in at 20, 25 miles an hour, it's going to knock the drone around. It's going to give me some trouble. So it's a lot to ask for sometimes. Maybe I'm just being a tad too sensitive, but I'm looking at around 20, 25 miles an hour to be my limit. I was reading the other day that somebody went out and they went to the beach and there was gusts of 35 miles an hour and they had a Mavic Pro, which is a pretty serious drone. And I was reading how this individual basically lost connection and the drone was out lost for good. They couldn't even navigate it back to shore because the wind was taking it off. Um, so obviously you don't want to be taking a drone out when it's 35 mile an hour winds, let alone coastal winds, because that's, you're talking about all these other problems altogether there. But just as a side note, that individual did end up getting their drone back, although there's very close to the battery dying and it ditching in the ocean. Um, Another factor that's a frustration being a drone owner again is you want to go outside and again you want to shoot some stuff with your drone, but it's either too cold or it's too hot. There's plenty of examples of people on YouTube that are flying their drones minus 30 Celsius, which is the DJI typical operation guides for battery and drone usage. I've seen lots of people fly in those negative numbers in Fahrenheit, and it's up to you to do what you want to do. I'm not going to say not do it, but obviously, DJI have these guidelines for reasons, and I tend to hold them. I hold myself accountable to them. So it's another frustration is sometimes it's just too cold, or it could be too hot. Another frustration is just what is the quality of the light outside. Clearly flying at nighttime is, you know, either not allowed or you can have limited operations when you do fly at night. But obviously when it's daytime, a cloudy day outside is not a good day for shooting generally. Again, it's you really need, for the most part, some good light to really hit that sensor the right way and get those colors really popping. Um, again, just a depressing, cloudy, dark day outside just doesn't really go well with drone operation, in my opinion, for photography or videography. Another frustration is just maintenance of batteries. Whether it's the controller or its actual drone battery itself. These batteries often are lipo batteries. They have a memory capacity, so you kind of gotta take good care of them. Otherwise, you do more damage than good. It's just not a case of just, charging the battery at 50% every time you want to top it up. You're meant to charge them down, recharge them again, and then do a full discharge every 20 or 30 cycle. So, you got to keep on top of it. It's always in the back of my mind. I'm just trying to keep the batteries to maximum capacity, and it can be a frustrating thing, just trying to keep track of everything. It's like you almost got to generate your own Excel data sheet to track some of these sometimes. Um, and then, my last frustration is just to do with, local, government restrictions. Whatever country you're in, no doubt there are laws to do with flying for drones. And, I'm not saying that, you should be breaking these laws. Some of the laws can be frustrating at times. I live in the United States, and I live in New Jersey, and I live in an urban, populated area where there's lots of air traffic going to and fro. So, you have to be mindful about what's going on in your environment, wherever you're flying, wherever you are in the world. But sometimes governments, can overreact and over-enforce laws. I believe Canada just introduced something in 2017 that's not looking particularly good for hobbyists who want to fly in that country. We often, from time to time, get articles that surface through the news media outlets that, a plane has struck a drone and it gets a bad rap again. So, some of the flight restrictions can be, you know, frustrating at times. I do wish, just as a side note, I feel like I want to write to DJI and just ask them, can there be some form of safe mode that you can fly your drone in, much like beginner mode, where you have a restriction on altitude and distance. A lot of these drones now, when you boot them up, if you're in a vicinity where you may be close to an airport or what have you, sometimes your drone might not even take off. Um, I've often thought, what if there's a mode where, like beginner mode, where you do reach a certain ceiling, where maybe it's only, 40 or 50 feet in the air. I think you should be able to operate your drone up to that ceiling and not have to worry about, contacting the local air tower to let the controllers know for information like that. I mean, you could probably get into a legal argument about that, but it's just something I've noticed as a frustration. I wish there was some kind of safe mode. Sometimes I just need to get a drone up, get a quick shot, get it down, and there's a lot of legalities that come with not notifying the appropriate authorities when you're doing such a thing, even though it's such a simple thing as just putting a camera up, bringing it down within a few minutes. So anyway, these are just some of the frustrations I've experienced as a drone operator. Again, I've been with DJI. There's a lot of other products out there, a lot of other manufacturers, but I think a lot of this content relates to a lot of what people are going through right now, and the changes that are going through the industry. I hope you found this video useful. Please like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you for the next one. Thank you.